All right. Welcome, everyone. This is Gwydion, and today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to do a playthrough of 2D6 Dungeon. 2D6 Dungeon is a classic dungeon crawler. It's a solo game by Toby Lancaster, and it was just released recently on Kickstarter. So it is available now, or I should say, I think it was just recently fulfilled a little while ago. So you can find it on 2D6 Dungeon. Sorry if my voice is a little weird today. I don't know what's going on, but not my normal voice, so I apologize. But anyway, you can order it directly from him, which is what I did. Ordered the hard copy books, which are great, and also some cards for monsters, some expansion. But anyway, I will drop this link in the video so that you can look at it and choose on your own whether or not you'd like to buy it directly from him. Um, the other thing I wanted to be clear is I'm actually going to be running this in Fantasy Grounds. So disclaimer up front, I've loaded all of the tables and information in order to play 2D6 Dungeon and did it in Xcore, which is a rule set that someone that has done a lot of coding for Fantasy Grounds, but is a community member. His name is Damien, and he created a rule set called Xcore that allows you to kind of modify character sheets and create some really cool and easy ways to play games like 2D6 Dungeon. So I'm going to talk to Toby, no guarantees at all if this will ever get released. And if you'll be able to play it directly on Fantasy Grounds, it's certainly a hope of mine, but something that I'd have to talk to Toby about. And ultimately, it would be up to him at the end of the day. So let's jump in and I'll show you how I built this. And we'll create a quick character and jump in to play the game. So I created a story entry here for character creation and I already named my character. His name is Sam the Valiant. So I'll open his character sheet and I won't go into a lot of the rules. There's a lot of videos and I'll try to link to a few that talk about the rules and I'll try to touch on them as I'm showing you some of the automation. But in general, this will be more about just character creation and also a bit of a playthrough. We'll see how far we get. So this is the character template and I'll just follow along here. We've got the template open classes on the right-hand side here, which I will do and drag adventure class to the character sheet. So in here, I have created 10 levels, which is how far you can develop your character in 2D6 Dungeon. So I've created 10 levels. So if you see up here, this level 0, I'm going to drag this on anywhere and drop it. And he now shows this adventure class level 1. And if I click this cog icon, this will update all the stats. So you can see his base health went up to 10, but I also have a current health because you can actually get your character above 10 health. So we'll do that and we will just put this to 10. So his current health is at 10. All right, select your weapon and drag onto your inventory tab of your character sheet. You don't necessarily need to equip it. I don't think it'll matter either way, but let me open the starting weapons. There are different maneuvers that you will select. So once you select your weapon, and this will be with you for the totality of the game, it might seem very limiting, but really it's more about the maneuvers you select rather than specifically the weapon you have. So you'll have, I believe it's like 8 to 10 maneuvers to choose from at level 1 for each of these weapons. And it does make your character a bit unique. And when you roll your 2d6, you'll be trying to get certain die rolls in order to activate your maneuver. So I'm just going to select a heavy mace. So let's go to the inventory tab. You'll see I actually already have things that you get as part of your character creation. So kind of the really basic things I've already got on here, but some of the other items we'll do as we go. But these are things that everyone gets to begin with. So, all right, let's drag the heavy mace on so you can see that populated up here. And now you see my heavy mace down here, and I have an ability to roll. So that's all set. Perfect. Let's see, pick 2 starting maneuvers and drag onto your character sheet. So maneuvers, let's see if I can do this. I tried to set this up in advance, but I'll show you what the maneuver table looks like. So these are all the maneuvers. So as I said, you have a longsword, great axe, and heavy mace. I'm selecting heavy mace. And you can see this page out of the core table book, the table codex, shows you level 1 maneuvers, level 2 maneuvers, and level 3 maneuvers. So these are all of the maneuvers we get to pick from. And you can see that there's a die roll next to each. So solid belting, when you're rolling your 2d6 to attack, you'll need to roll a 1 on your first die, the primary die, and 2 on the second or secondary die in order to activate this maneuver. And if you do, you're successful and you'll do a d6 plus 2 damage. So as you can imagine, as your die rolls are more on the extremes of a d6, so a 1 or a 6, it's a little more challenging to be able to move those, and you move those dies by virtue of something called a shift mechanic. So you'll start with a 2 in shift, which means you can move your dice a total of 2. So if you roll, say, a 1 and a 3, you can move one of those dies, the second one, from a 3 to a 2, and activate, say, your solid belting. So that's how that works in general. I will turn this off again for a second. So let's go into, I think it's under our tables where I have all this done, level 1. So let's look for our great axe weapon maneuvers. Guess I already had it linked in here, but I'm going to go to great axe weapon maneuvers. And the way I've set this up is you have your die roll over here, you have your description, and then your damage. I'm going to do something like a carve or a direct jab. Let's do a carve. So we'll drag that straight on your maneuvers. And we'll do what else? Carve. That's a 1d6 minus 1. Maybe I'll do something with like a +1. Direct jab. And one of the things I want to do is I kind of want to have the primary and secondary numbers be different, because sometimes your opponents will be able to interrupt or basically use their armor or other maneuvers to reduce your damage. And it's based on your die numbers, primary and secondary. So if I pick 2 things that are, say, I don't know, have the same secondary number. So maybe I picked a chop that has a 3-3. So in that case, if someone has a interrupt maneuver that activates on a secondary of a 3, secondary die of a 3, then both of my maneuvers, I wouldn't be able to, or I'd be able to use them, but the armor would affect both of them. So I might just try to do something else, maybe a low swish, or a direct jab. I think a low swish. Let's just do that. All right, so those are my 2 maneuvers. Let's close this. Select 1 piece of armor from the starting armor table. So this one, I'm not going to worry as much about it, but you can see here the armor type will tell you a bit about the armor. And actually, this is just a record I created. But the die set, if there's only 1 number here, then it only activates on the primary die. So what that means is, like a jerkin, if he rolls a 4, then it will activate on only on his primary die. So let's just go ahead and we'll just do a jerkin. I'm gonna grab that, drag it in. Should show on my main page now. Yep, there's a jerkin. So it tells me right there on a 4 and a -1. So I've got that all ready to go. Drag the armor length. Yep, all done. So now I get a starting scroll. So this tells you a little bit about what they do. +1 discipline, which is more for casting spells. 1 strike of 10 damage. That would be pretty powerful in the event that you have a really strong adversary. And throw reflexes, +1 shift for 1 whole combat. That's kind of cool. But you know what? I think I'm going to do that scroll of mental whip. So if I get something that I just feel really outgunned, since you cannot run away, then I think I'm going to do that mental whip, because you get to use that, if I remember correctly, at the very beginning of a combat. So there we go. There's my die to cast. And there's also a fail mechanic. So we'll go through that if it comes up today. All right. Oh, I have a typo in my drag the scroll link and equipment. All right. So I think that is it. You know, the one thing I'm going to do, and I didn't realize I didn't do it before we started, I'm going to keep, actually, you know what? Maybe I don't need it. I have another PDF form fillable character sheet that in general I want to use. But you know what? I might just use the notes here for anything else we need to track. I'll see if it comes into play. It probably won't. There's some really cool things on that PDF, but maybe I'll show that next time. So that's it. I've got my character. I've got everything ready to go. I'm going to open my combat tracker. Just see what this link is again. Oh, that's my table link. Okay. So I've got Sam the Valiant on here. I'm going to make sure he's untargeted. So you can see I have his health and his wounds here and his current health. So I'm all good to go. Yeah, I'll just show all the NPCs on this. So he's already in the combat tracker and set. So I'm going to clear out the chat. This tells you what extensions I have loaded. So Xcore, which I mentioned, is the core rule set. I've got a card table extension loaded that'll help me as I roll in the tables. It allows me to deselect some results because some results will be unique and you shouldn't be able to roll them again or actually have them come up. So I wanted to make sure I had a mechanic to get rid of certain roles on the tables. I've got a GM icon just so my GM icon shows up. And I have a little bit of a font that is loaded Droid Serif that I actually created using an extension that Trenlo, another forum member, and somebody does a ton of work on Fantasy Grounds. I kind of used one of his extensions and modified it. You can see now that when we drug on the level 1, it kind of tells you everything that happened. I got a shift total that added automatically. I've got a discipline, a +1 that added automatically. Precision, I get none. And my title, if you want to write it down, you could say, hey, title raw. That's just the title it gives you as a level 1 character. And you did see that I've got 2 maneuvers and they have to be level 1. So I've already selected those. So again, we're good to go. So let us clear chat. So that's a blank canvas. And now we're going to open the turn flow chart and start our adventure. So I shouldn't need this anymore. So, well, I'll just leave this as it is for now. So start of your turn up here at the top, and we'll only need this section at the very beginning because we're starting our dungeon level. So is it the start of a dungeon level? Yes. So draw an archway at the desired dungeon entry point. I've already started my map, and basically this is just something that I copied right out of the rulebook PDF. And they tell you, Toby tells you to basically have it be at least like 30 by 30. And I believe that's what I've done here. So the dark outline is 30 by 30 squares. And then you don't have to put the starting entrance in the middle, but I basically did. So that's my archway basically to open the starting map to get this thing rolling, so to speak. So let's go back here. To roll 2d6, and I don't have to specify a primary and secondary because in Fantasy Grounds, it's already done that. So when I roll, it will give me 2 results, and it might be the lower or the higher result. But in this case, it's a 6 and a 3. So when you multiply those together, that gives you the area of the room, which would be 18 if I multiply 6 times 3. So in this case, I move here. Is the area greater than 12? Yes, it is. So divide both dice by 2 and round up. So 6 divided by 2, so that's a 3. 3 divided by 1, 2 is 1.5. So round up to 2. So I have a 3 and a 2, so that's a 6. So primary die is 3 and the secondary die is 6. And then you're going to add archway exits. So I'll show you what that means. So we're going to do a 3 and a 2. So let's go into drawing mode, and I've got a stroke. So I want to basically have this 3 wide. Again, you don't have to center it. I'm going to center it to start. So we'll do 3. And I've got this to snap to grid. So that's 1, 2, and then down here, that'll be 3. 1, 2, 3, and then I want 2 high. So if I want 3 exits, I think I'm doing this. Sorry, let me get that done. Has to be 2 high. So this is going to be up here. So I hope I do this right. Bear with me. And if I do it a little wrong, that's okay. I'll just run with it and you can correct me in chat. So, okay, so that's going to be 1 exit, 2, 3. So in this case, I can close this down and I can double click there and maybe I'll make this one a little bit different and I'll close it down here. So then you're going to create your archways. So coming out of the room. So in that case, I would draw this here. There's 1. So these are archways. And then I'm going to draw it here and here. That's a little off. Let's get that a little better. And there you go. I think that's close enough. 3 by 2. And now archways, I'll show you what that looks like. I've got the image input into Fantasy Grounds. So these are all of your door symbols. So the way they tell you to draw the archways is just, a little 2 vertical lines. So in this case, I'm just going to do that. It looks like I did this a little bit off, but that's all right. So we're going to go something like this. And I'll go up, down, up. Do that just a little more. And then I'll do this here. And again, you can do this as much or as little as you want. I'm not great at all at drawing, so I'm just going to do this just to, yeah, that works. It doesn't look great, but that's the drawer. That has nothing to do with the game. That's the illustrator, i.e. me. So we'll do this, and we'll do this, and we'll do this. And you don't even have to do this. You could just leave these open if you want, right? I'm getting a little better maybe as I draw these. So we'll do this. I've got a little dungeon ambiance music out that you should hear just a little bit. I'm not worried if for some reason it's not coming through, but if you hear a little bit and wonder, that's what it is. All right. So there's my initial entry room. So let's go back to what this says. I'll turn that off and I'll go to my flowchart. All right, so that looks like we're done, right? Added our 3 exits and we're done. So we'll basically go back to the start of the turn. And now we know we'll never be at this start until we get down to the next level. So I'm just going to move this up here. We'll start from here. So now I'm going to, again, I'll clear this out just so we always have a clear chat. But let's roll a 2d6. And in this case, okay, 1 and a 2. If you have a 1 in either the primary or the secondary, it's a corridor. And I know that because actually it probably even says that in here. Let's read through this. So we did it, add the 2 primary. This will be the X value. Yep. Draw the room using calculated variables. Is the area less than 6? Yes. And if you keep going down here, let's see. Is room unique? No. I know there is. Oh, here we go. Sorry, I should have started up here. I missed at the very beginning. Roll 2d6. Doubles rolled, no. Is one of the values a 1? Yes. Draw the corridor. Primary die is X. So the X-axis, it'll be 1 wide, and then it'll be 2 high. And those are always archway exits. So this, in this case, I was going to go left. I guess I didn't say that, but I was going to go to the left. So now let's draw this, and we're going to draw a corridor. Go back to my drawing layer here, and we're going to say that's 1, or that would be 1, and it will be 2 high. So I think we'll just do something like this. And I think this is copacetic. Like I said, this is going to be new to me, so if Toby or anyone else that's played this game a lot knows that I've missed something, let me know. So in this case, this is 2 squares high, so I've done 1 wide, 2 high. So now I'm going to do there's always an archway exit. So I believe this would go like this. And then I would do my archway and say, kind of an archway exit into the new room. Actually, did I do that right? Let me read that again quickly. And I'm sorry if I stop and pause. This is the first time I'm playing this. So to draw the core, use the exit chart to determine number of exits. Oh, I probably still need to add number of archway exits to the corridor based on exits determined in prior step. All right, so let's, I'm going to undo that. There we go. All right. So in this case, 1 by 2, I'm going to see if it'll, there we go. So that's my corridor. So in theory, I could cut it off here and that could be an exit, or it could be an, sorry, a dead end. But let's see what it shows. Number of exits. So I'm going to roll on the exit table. So a 2 means there's 1 exit. So, you know what? I'm going to keep going to the left. So what I can do is say, I'm just going to block that off there. And then I'm going to erase. Hopefully I have this. I think I need to make this like 0.8. I've done this before, a little bit smaller. And then I can erase this. Yeah. Looks like I erased a little more, but that should work. We'll go back. I can connect these if I'm really worried about it. All right, that's bad. So now I have an exit, and this is going to be another archway. So as I understand it, I would do something like this. And I know nothing too exciting yet, right? We've probably like 10, 15 minutes into the stream, and all I've done is create a corridor, but that's right. We're going to keep going to the left as well. So let's roll for the next room. There we go. All right. So we're back up here. We're going to roll. Let's clear it out. We'll roll our 2d6. Oh, wow. Big room. So 6 times 5 is 30. So doubles rolled, no. One of the dice value of 1, no. Draw the room. Primary X and Y. So let's do that. So 6 by 5. And again, we don't have to. Let's see how this will work. So because we're towards the bottom, I'm going to have to do, we'll do 6 wide. So this is the entrance. So it would be, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by 2, 3, 4, 5. That is a big room, huh? Like it. I'm just going to go there. All right. So, and we don't know the number of doors yet. So we just got into this huge room. You know what I'm going to do? We don't necessarily need to do this, but I am going to bring Sam the Valiant down so that we can kind of show him. And you can see he's, I don't know if I can turn him, but when we ended up playing, yeah, can I turn him? Yeah, let's rotate him. There we go. Looks like he's neat. And this is one of those tokens that is animated. So kind of show him going through the map. Why not? You don't have to, but you can. So there we go. All right. So let's go back and look at the flow chart. So we drew it. It's not less than 6. Is it greater than 32? Oh, actually it's greater than 6 times 5 is 30. Why do I think, I guess the only time it would be a large room is if it is a 6 and a 6. I guess that's right, because you can roll doubles, and when you roll doubles, then if they're not 6s, you would roll again. So if you roll doubles, they're not 6s, you write down the original and you roll again. So I suppose that's how you get the bigger rooms. So that makes sense. So I was wrong. This is just a normal room. So it's not greater than 30. It's a regular room. So now I will click on this and we're going to roll on the rooms table. So I've created these again. I've loaded all of these up myself. There's a fair bit of automation. So let's give it a roll. All right. So I know the dice didn't roll because it's just a 1d36, but let's pull up the map. I'm going to pull up my story here. I am going to create and say Gwyd test run level 1. All right. And then I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to create one. And so this is going to be room, I guess I'll say level 1, room 1. So let's see what it says. So this says, as you look over here, I rolled a 4 and a 2. And let me see if I can get them on the chart in the book. So we'll say level, see if I can find this 1 room. And I think I will have it shortly. And then I can show you kind of what it looks like. Level 2, level 1 rooms. Okay, so let's show you this briefly. So in the PDF that you get, and it's kind of cool, you can see this in the actual physical copy of the book too. There's a light coloring at the top and the bottom, and you can quickly tell what level the page number, I guess the page that you would flip to would relate to. So in this case, light blue, I believe, means level 1. So if I scroll past this a bit, maybe level 1 and 2, I think is all light blue. So here are all the rooms. So I rolled a 4 and a 2. So if you look up here, 4 and a 2 is an abandoned guard post. And it says there is a dusty table here upon which sits a dried pewter tankard and an empty bowl. There's something on the rough table, roll on table, tap 1, and the exits are all wooden doors, and it is not a unique room. So if you look back over here on my roll, I will get my cursor back where it needs to be. There we go. So what I'm going to do now is roll the room type here, and I'm going to say abandoned guard post. And so I'll go ahead and put the room type there. Then I'm going to drag in the description. So dusty table, and I'm going to drag in, so there is an encounter, something that I'll have to run through. And I don't really need this. That's the automation to actually roll the table. So let's scroll down here. Exits are wooden doors. The room is not unique. It'd probably be good that I put that in here. So you can see this is already rolled on that table 1 for me. So I'm going to put up here when it says there's something on the table, I'll just clean that up and I'll drag this up here. And you can see that if you look back at the PDF, I'm still showing you the PDF. I apologize. So that is one. Oh, let me do one more thing. I will get rid of the table screen. So what I was showing you is I was creating the room here in a story entry, and I was literally dragging and dropping these right into the story entry. I'll show you again. But so now we have like all of our text. It already rolled on TAT table 1, and it tells me that there are 4 people that once sat here, and I got a silver fork worth 5 silver coins. So I can go into my character sheet, and if I want to, I could just add it here and say, let's see, silver fork, and then I can say, what's the value? 5 silver coin. And maybe I just put that in my backpack, and I'll just say in my large backpack. So now I've got that silver fork. Maybe you could use that for something. I don't know. There's something called inventive usage that Toby created that will allow me to potentially use things and try to, even though it's not necessarily written in the book, if I can consider it and it makes sense, then I could use it. So, all right. So let's see. So there's not anything else in here. There's not a specific encounter that I'll have to fight, but let's just make this a little bit cooler. And I'm going to go to my painting layer and let me pull up that story entry. I should have done this first. I'm going to drag and drop that pin in the room. So now I can just hover over that pin if I'm in my play mode, and it'll tell me level 1, room 1, abandoned guard post, and then I can always look back at these. But what I wanted to show, I'm going to bring this over here. I wanted to go into the paint layer, and now what I'm going to do is look at my assets, and I'm going to find, let's find a table. So there's a dusty table here. So I'm going to pick like a small table. I'm going to drag it into my tile, and I'm going to make it about, I guess I could make it 1 by 2, but now what I'm going to do, I've got the stamp tool on, and if it lets me, which it should, let's add a layer here. Yep. And now, there we go. That's what I was hoping for. So it added a wooden table layer. And now what I'm going to do is just select it. And I should be able to move this around. So I don't have to do a lot with it, but let's just say we moved it in the table over there. I'm not going to do like 10 cups and all those kind of things. We'll just leave it the way it is. But now I've got at least a room with a little dusty table here. And there's a, you know, if you really wanted to get creative, I probably could look, we'll do it quickly. I won't bore you with every room, but I bet I could put a tankard. Maybe not. Mug. Maybe there's a mug. I don't have a ton of assets, so all right. Oh, let's go back. Try it this way. How about if I try it here? Tankard. Mug. Oh well. Yeah, I've got a bunch of tables, but the yeah. I bet I could do silverware maybe. All right, I'm striking out. How about a fork? All right, we're gonna leave it. But you can at least spruce it up just a little bit. So we're kind of done with that room. Let me bring my character in, Sam the Valiant, in the room, and then let's see, what do I need to do next? I'm gonna go to my turn flowchart. All right, so the room was not greater than 32, so it was a regular room. It's not unique. And now we need to roll a 1d6 to, I'm going to lock this and close this, to determine the number of exits. So I think we can clear this information here. That little pin, I have it on my shortcuts too, but it just pulls up the exit numbers. So you roll a 1d6. Ooh, I rolled a 6, so 3 exits. So let's see if I can create 3 exits. Go back to my map. Go to my erasing tool. Here we go. All right, so I can't, if it's butting up within one of an outer boundary, I can't do that there. So I can't do top or bottom, and I can't do the wall I just came from. So really I can only do 1 exit. So let's go ahead and we'll do it like right here. How about that? I'm gonna erase this here. If I can get to the painting layer. And sometimes I don't do this quite right. There we go. I should be good. Go back to my layer. And I know these are wooden doors. If you remember in the pin, I select the pin, it tells you all the exits are wooden doors. Okay, so if I look at my image, I'll look at the top, wooden door. It's kind of a square rectangle with a little line through it horizontally. If I did it also vertically, that would be a reinforced door. So let's do that. So actually I can make this solid again. So let's connect this. And then what I'm going to, yeah, it's not quite connect, but it's good enough. And then I'm going to do a rectangle to show this. And hopefully this will work and be close enough. There you go. So that's my wooden door. So now I could continue to follow this through. I could go back to the entrance, but I think I'm going to go through that wooden door. So let us go back to my image, the flowchart, and see what it says. So I am, where am I? Oh, I'm down here. I did roll the number of exits. It does have specific door types, and I drew them based on that, based on the wooden door. It's not the final room of the dungeon. So encounter creature. I guess, let's see, did I do something wrong there? Let me think about this. Well, I guess in this case, I'm just drawing the door, so I haven't decided where I want to go to. So, okay. And so there is no creature in the room. It was just, basically, I found some things on the table, and it was an abandoned, I think we said it was an abandoned guard post. So obviously we just found a few things, but no encounter. And so now I choose the next door to exit through. So I need to determine if I'm going to try that wooden door, is it locked? So I have my door table here. So if I roll on the door table, all types of doors are unlocked. Great. So now in this case, I can just go through the door and we can encounter the room. So you always draw, and I feel like sometimes I forget this, but you always draw basically the entrance or the exit out of the current room. So you're going into the next room. So get Gwydion up there, or not Gwydion, sorry. Sam the Valiant is going to move up there, and let's see what he encounters. So let's go back and look at our flowchart. So end of turn. So we're starting our turn again. So remember, we're starting just up at the top here. Figure this out, and we'll roll our 2d6. 3 and a 1. Gosh, I feel like I'm going to roll a lot of corridors. So, all right. So it's a 1 and a 3. Go back to my game map. And the one thing I always forget, I get a little confused on, is I guess this is just the entry or the connection. So I don't think I should count that, because if I did a room, I would do it off of that entrance. So I'm going to say that doesn't count. So we'll start 1. So it's going to be 1 wide by 3 long. So in this case, I think I would just, again, this is my first foray, so bear with me. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. And I could do this and then just say, all right, I want to do a little better job connecting those. Like I said, art was never mine. It's still not perfect, but I'll make it work. All right. So then we should go back and do our, basically our roll for number of exits. So I'll kind of skip through this. It's not a unique room. Use the exit chart to determine number of exits. Let's do that. Holy moly. We have our 3 exits is what it says. So not sure I can do that. Can't do on the wall. Actually, I guess I can. I do have room, so let's do that. We'll erase this and we'll do 1, I don't know, maybe like, I don't know why yeah, I still want that to be 0.8. I'm not sure why I did that. So we'll do 1 here. And we'll do 1 at the very top. Got that a little bit off, but let's see if that. All right. And then maybe do 1 like, I don't know, right here. All right. So now we could do our exits. Now, I guess for the corridor, that's an interesting, they're always archways. That's right. You know what? I'm going to leave them just to save time. I'm going to leave those as just open. And, otherwise I could, but I'll go ahead and draw them and basically, again, save a little time. Okay, there's 1. There's maybe 2. I don't like how I did that one. All right. This one. All right, so let's see, I did. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1 by 3. Oh yeah, so I would probably still extend it. Let's do that. Do that. And do that here. Maybe. There we go. All right. So all archways. So again, rather than go through the brain damage, we're going to bring Gwydion through the unlocked door, and we're going to, let's see. Let's kind of fill out the left if we can. So we're going to bring him up here. We're going to go over here, and we're going to determine the room. So I'm not going to always, I think I'm getting this down. So let's see if we can just clear this out, and we'll roll 2d6 and see the size of this room. It's 6 by 6. So let's look at that one. Cool. This might be an interesting room. And I don't know. Let's see, we're both roll 6s. Yes, draw the room. So it's 36. So I can only do this. I think I can do this to the outer edge. I know I can't do it. Yeah, so I guess I'll just do that. I might be making a mistake here, but I'm going to go down here and just go as far as I can. So that'll connect with the outer edge. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll do it up here. So we'll bring that down here, and then we'll bring it over. And it's an interesting, I guess, point, and maybe I just need to adjudicate it. But so obviously I had to make this smaller. It's only 4 by 6, but I think the whole point is large rooms should be uncommon. So I guess I will say, because I rolled a 6 by 6, I'm still going to roll on the larger room table. Again, so I'm not breaking something if I get that rule wrong. Let's see if there's any other note here. So they were both 6s. Draw it. Greater than 32. This is a large room. So let's just see, and it may see if it doesn't make sense, but I think it will. So regardless of what I come up with, I think you probably just will only run into a few large rooms in each level. So let's roll on the table. Let's see what we get. So I'm going to go back and create another story entry. So this will be, try to make them consistent, level 1, room 2, and that is going to be what do we have? A temple. Ooh, cool, a temple. So let's drag these over. This time you'll see it. So I'm going to drag this over. Room type temple. Description: dark murals line the walls. Empty pews form 2 lines. Chandeliers loaded with lit candles hang above. Behind a pulpit stands a figure who attacks. Oh boy. So let's get rid of this because it will already have loaded this. So let's see what the encounter is. And let's just pull this in just so I know what it was. It's a cultist, and I might clean this up in the future. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Go back here and get rid of that pin. I got excited. All right, so let's go back to my story entries. Level 2 room. So cultist and we'll put this crazed preacher. So a cultist and a crazed preacher. So once we do that, then we'll drag in exits or all archways. It is unique. So this is what I'm going to do. So let's pull this over here. I don't want to lose this room, so I can always get back to it. So let's drop that pin there. So now we can always get to it. But let's open the table again. And that was the large room table. 32 squares or more. Again, I cheated a little bit, but that's all right. So I came into the temple here, and this is a unique room. So now, because I have that card extension loaded, what I can do now, you can see there's 36, or actually in this case, I guess there's 11 entries. Huh, maybe that's right. I don't remember. That's interesting. But I will click on this button here once I find the temple, and that's going to pull it out so I can't roll that again. So I know that I've used that room. So once I roll on that table again, I won't be able to roll on that, which is cool. I'm going to look for the large room. Bear with me 1 second. I want to make sure I didn't screw that up. Yeah, I guess that's right. There's 11 entries, 2 through 12. So I think I have that right. Awesome. All right. So let's go back, and I think I know what I need to do now. I think I will have to, but let's read through. Large room, room's unique, yes. Door type already exists. In this case, it said, I believe, archways. Yeah, it said archways. So I don't have to, oh, still have to roll on the number of exits. So let's do that. I'm going to get rid of this because I have all the info I need. So let's roll on the exit number. No exits. All right, so let's go back. And well, it's perfect as it is. There'll be no exits. So I can open this up again. And we will open up the flowchart. And we've done specific door types, yes. I drew the number of exits. There are no exits. Final room, no. Encounter the creature. Let's encounter. So now, because I've got these all loaded and I had the links loaded, I can drag these into the combat tracker. I haven't put images yet, but I will. And you know what I'm going to do? I might change, just for sake of being able to tell these apart, briefly. I'm going to go to my assets, tokens, and I wonder if I can just find a creature. How about Cultist. Probably not right with it looks, but I like that. Let's just do that. That's going to be the crazed preacher. Why not? It's a little old school. I don't think I have all the assets loaded. I should, but it's all good. All right, so now let's do this. Let's see what else did it say about the room. I want to make this a cool looking room. So see if there's any other assets I can bring into play. Let's go into a layer, and I'm going to go to the token stamp. So murals, empty pews. Bear with me for just a minute or two. I'm going to see if I can find like anything. Oh, archway. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, go over here. Pew. Temple. Shoot. Floors, effects. Then go back to just the home and say temple. Oh. Let's see if there's anything else. Yeah, these are all like, how about pew? We'll try pew. Altar. I want to have something. These are just like entire maps. I don't have as many assets as I should. How about candle? Candle on a table. Lit candles hang above. Yeah, so these are like wall candles. Why don't I do that? I think that's kind of neat. So we'll just do that. And I won't make you hang on. So I should be able to then move this and rotate it. I think. There. And then I can move it on the wall, maybe. It's not letting me. How about if I do? Huh. Oh, I know what I need to do. Untake off the magnetic. I don't want it to grid snap. See, is that close enough? It looks a little funky, but why not? I know, guys. This is what you get with me. It's not super impressive map making skills here. I'm going to drag that out just a little bit more because I can't figure out how else to enlarge it. I need to. So anyway, you got a couple candles on the wall. Pulpit. Okay, that's the last thing I'm going to search for. I think I'll be very lucky if I find a pulpit, but pulpit stand. Oh, painting stand. Terrain objects. Wooden shelf. Yeah, how about we do something like that? That looks kind of interesting. We'll make that like a pulpit, and we'll say that's the pulpit. Might make me go out and want to do more, to find more of these. Yeah, I don't know why it's snapping to the grid. I'm probably doing something wrong, but we'll kind of say that's the pulpit. Why not? All right. So then what we're going to do, that's probably enough for the room. Then what we're going to do, we'll lock that up, and then we will drag these onto the map and make sure that they're visible to my friend Gwydion, or I keep saying Gwydion. we'll make sure that it's visible to Sam the Valiant, and Sam the Valiant comes into the room, says, holy heck, time for me to try to take these down. So let's open these to show you what this looks like. So the Crazed Preacher, if I hover over here, you can see that pops up a little bigger image of the Crazed Preacher. And this is just a cultist. So I'm going to put my token right in between the two of them. So the Crazed Preacher has 4 health and the cultist 5. So I get to go first. So what I can do is just kind of put an order for me. Let's just say I'm 10, and then we'll go 9, and I can decide which one of these two goes. But let's look at him for a second. So I'm going to put it up here. You should still see it. So I've got all these records built out. He's got a 4 health. He's got a shift point, only 1 shift point. I'll get 5 XP if I kill him. And here's his attack. So he has a maneuver. So his maneuver is a 4 and a 3. So I have to remember the good thing about that is my armor is a jerkin, which is a 4. So I will be able to deflect some damage from this guy. So that's good to know. And then Bible Block is a -2. So that is his interrupt. So his defense. So if I hover over this -2, I've put that in as a P4, which means primary 4. So if I roll a primary 4, he can subtract 2 from it. That's good to remember. I also have, so in this case, if I defeat him, I roll on the religious pouches table. So I have to remember that. And then here's the image. This is straight out of the game, the PDF. So you can kind of see what this looks like. So what I'll need to know here is if he rolls double 1s or double 6s as part of his roll, his attack roll, then it's basically a critical miss, critical fail. But it's called a mishap attack or mishap fail. So it's a mishap attack if it's a critical fail, basically a prime attack if it's a critical hit. So there's also a little bit of description here. Spreading their vile words in amongst the inhabitants of the dungeon, these crazed rogue preachers are full of fury. They scream and rush towards you. So I might, when I get more time, take this image and make that the token image, right? I just haven't had time. So here's this wild scratch that I already had coded, 4 and a 3. It's a D6 -3. And then if I look at the cultist, look at him. Cultist, so his robe swish is a secondary 4, and his punch, his maneuver is a 5 and a 4. So, and again, we can pull him up, and yeah, I could take all these images and make tokens. Just need to take the time to do it. So this is what his card looks like, and there's his 5 and a 4 punch. All right, just because I don't know what the right thing to do here, I'm just going to go after the Crazed Preacher. So I'm going to control left click, and I have him targeted. So let's kind of clear out chat. And now what I need to do is bring up Sam the Valiant. I'll bring him over here so you can see it while I attack. And now I can roll I need to get either a 4-3 or a 5-2 with 2 shift points. This fatigue, I'll show you what that does, but basically the farther you go in terms of the number of rounds, and I'm going to put this to 1, the farther you go in the number of rounds, your shift point and your opponents will increase. It's a way of, I think, making sure the combat doesn't last forever. I love the mechanic, but I've coded this in here so I can double click on these rounds and this fatigue counter will keep going up. So I'll remember to add that to the shift total. But we're in round 1 now. We don't need to worry about that. So let's just go to his heavy mace and let's roll the attack. So 4 and a 2. 2 and a 4. See, that's why the primary dice I was thinking was a 4 and a 2. So 2 and a 4. So unfortunately, that means, I could move the 2 and get that to a 4, but then my 4, I don't have enough shift points to make it a 3. And then the 5 and the 2, I'm not close. So let's move down in the combat tracker to the Crazed Preacher. So now it's the Crazed Preacher's turn. And let's see, I will open up his attack roll here. And we will just clear it out if I want to. We'll just roll the attack. So he rolled a 4 and a 3. Oh my God. 4 and a 3 is exactly what he needs to roll. Now, the good news, as I understand it, is if you roll as the player exactly what your maneuver is, then it's kind of a critical hit. you get to do your normal damage plus your shift points. So, but in his case, it's just as I understand it, he just hits me. So unfortunately, I am hit. So I'll show you, I did not target myself. So let me make sure I target, and you can see the Crazed Preacher target Sam the Valiant, and my damage up here should populate automatically. So let's roll his wild scratch damage. So that did 3, or it should have done 3. Oh, why did that not? Damage. I might have to look at that later. It should have. I'm going to do one other thing. I wonder if I pulled an old, because that looks all correct to me. So I'm going to delete this for a second out of the combat tracker. Bring him back in. And then obviously I can do this manually, but I have a feeling, I don't know, that damage, it looks like I have it set right. Let's try it again. I know it was a 3, so I'm going to remember that. But let's see if this works this time. And if not, I'll have to take it offline. And maybe I just coded the damage roll wrong. Yeah, see, that did it correctly. Oh, you know what? I'm silly. The reason I thought it was wrong is he rolled a 3, but it's a 1d6 minus 3, which is 0. And because my armor is a jerkin and it's a primary 4, I could have taken another point out. Didn't even need to use it. He hit me, but the 1d6 minus 3 didn't do any damage. So let's go to the next actor, which is the cultist. Let's open his up and let's make sure he's... Oh, I gotta bring myself back on the map. Go. And let's make sure I'm here. And I can control left click on Sam, target Sam, and let's roll our attack. So a 3 and a 1. So his punch is a 5 and a 4. He has 1 shift point. He misses. So I dodge out of the way, deflect it, however you want to play that. So now I'm in round 2. So now let's go back to Sam. And I'm going to double click on this round so that it accelerates it to 1 round. So now you can see I'm on round 2. With the way these character sheets work, I do have to just click that little button to make sure this updates. But you can tell in round 2, it doesn't add any shift points. Not yet. I think it's round 4. But we'll keep that tracked. So Sam, here we go again. Let's go after that Crazed Preacher again. And I'm going to do my heavy mace roll. So Sam swings that heavy mace and he gets doubles. I don't think doubles does anything unusual, but it is a 3-3. So I could move up 1 and I can do my carved, which is a 4-3. So that's awesome. Now, unfortunately, his Bible block, I don't know if he literally has a Bible. He puts it up in front of himself and blocks this, but we're going to have to do that. So let's roll my carve and damage. And unfortunately, this will damage him right away. I'll have to manually do the defense. I don't know if I know how to code that yet. So I would do a 3 normally, and you can see that took off 3. However, unfortunately, again, his Bible block is on primary 4. My carve's a primary 4, so I need to take 2 off. What I probably should have done is just done that in the modifier down here, and that would have worked. But anyway, I can just reduce the wounds by 2. So he took 1, right? I mean, I kind of did a glancing blow. It went off the Bible blocker there and provided a glancing blow for him. All right, so now we're back down to him. He's targeting Sam. Let's attack away. So a 5 and a 3. So, unfortunately, his wild scratch, he only has to move that 1 and he can hit me. So let's do that damage. So that's a 2. Now, again, this did a -1, unfortunately, and I'll just have to put that back to 0. So it certainly isn't going to heal me. But yeah, so I know that is a 0. And we'll move on to the cultist. Cultist has me targeted, so he does his punch. And a 1 and a 6. So he needs to get to a 5-4. He's not even close. So now I can move on. I'm round 3. Go back up and open Sam. Let's move this to round 3. and still no fatigue points yet, but that's all right. So Sam's going to keep hacking away at the crazed preacher. Let's try it. 6-4, 4-6. Gotta keep thinking. I'm looking, but so I can't. I only have a shift of 2 this round. I can move the 6 down to a 4, but not down to a 3. So I miss. That Bible just freaked me out. I can't get past his defenses. All right. So the crazed preacher is going to now swing. So he's going to do his wild scratch. So let him attack. And that's a 5-4. So again, he only has 1 point. He can only move it 1. That's a miss. Let's go down to the cultist. And the cultist will attack. That's a 4-5. He needs a 5-4, thankfully. And again, only 1 shift point. So man, we're just going toe to toe. We're in round 4 though. So let's open Sam's sheet. Let's double click on the shift fatigue. Hit that refresh. Okay. So it does, you can see, hover over this additional shift points. So now you can see this was 2. So I'm automatically updated. I've got 3 shift points. I have to remember that they need to add 1 to theirs, or I need to add 1. So they'll now both get 2. But I already have this on my character sheet. I can move this 3. So he's going to keep swinging away. Let's do this with this heavy mace. Come on, Sam. 6-2. All right. So my low swish, I only need to use 1 shift point, and I can move that to a 5-2. Perfect. So let's double click. Oh my God, 1. But that is a 1+1. So I do 2, almost took him down. Let's make sure his Bible block is on a primary 4. So the low swish is a 5, so he doesn't get to block it. So at least, man, I've almost got him down, but not quite. And now he has 2 shift points. So he is going to wild scratch away at me. 4-4. Ah, shoot. So he can move that down to a 4-3. So his damage is a 6. -3 is 3. And I do get to use my jerkin. Again, I got to remember that I can just do it in the modifier. But again, if it goes negative, it would bring it too low anyway. So I'm going to take 1 wound off. So now I have 2. So that's how we'll do that. The cultist, he'll attack Sam. 3-2. He has 2 shift points now. And what does he need? He needs a 5-4. So he can't. 2-3. And he needs a 5-4. So he's not really close. So, all right, round 5. Let's move this down. Double click here. So now my shift points are 2. Or the fatigue gets your shift up to 2. So now I can use 4 shift points. Awesome. See if I can take this guy out. Please, let's do it. Heavy mace. 5-4. So I think my low swish is the best because that is a +2, and he can't, with his defense, he could block some of the carve, but not the low swish. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do the low swish. There's no reduction I need to do, so just straight out low swish damage. Oh man, max damage. 6 + 1, 7. So the crazed preacher is dead. So I can take him off now, which would just make this a red splotch. We'll do that, but I do want to look at him later to get his experience points and so forth. But we'll take him off. Now you can see the blood stains. Awesome. But now I have to survive the cultist, who now has, since the fatigue is 2, he gets 3 shift points. So let's have him attack Sam. 3-5, and he needs a 5-4. Awesome. So he misses. Great. So now we're on round 6. Boy. And let's do this. So yeah, I get 5 shift points. Come on, I'd really like to be able to get him a low swish, and he's got a lot of health. He's got 5 health. Let's do this. Heavy mace. 6 and a 1, and I need a 5 and a 2. So absolutely, I can use 2 shift points. Perfect. So he has a robe swish on a primary 4. Can't block any of this. He gets the full damage. Come on. Oh my God. I am not rolling well with damage. Shoot, why is that damage 0? It should have been a 2. Why does it say damage? Oh, no, it should be a damage 2. Did I not have him targeted? Oh, I didn't. All right, easy enough. I just didn't have him targeted. So let's give him that damage 2 wounds, and we'll move down to the cultist. And the cultist will try to punch me. 2-6. Wow, even though he's got, let's see, 3, he's got 4 shift points. That's too far away. He's not going to be able to make that a 5-4. Awesome. Wow, we're in round 7. I don't think it usually gets up this far. Well, I think we're around 7. Maybe I missed that last time. 5. Yeah, I got 5 shift. All right. Well, oh, it didn't. Oh, maybe I didn't code this far enough. Maybe it does end at 6. I don't remember. I'll have to look that rule up later, but 3 shift points. So, all right, Sam, see what you can do. Let's get this guy out of here. 6-2. Yep, 5-2. Low swish. Damage. 5-6. And he is done. Whew. That was a tough combat. I did take 2 damage, not horrible, but now let's open up again that pin and let's look at the encounter, the cultist. Let's see if, so he does have a religious pouch table. So I'm going to roll on that. So I'm going to click on this link, roll on the religious pouch table. So inside the pouch is a vial of black ink. So I will go back to Sam, my inventory, and I'm going to add a pouch, because I think I can keep the pouch too, right? With a vial of black. You know what? I'm going to do pouch first. And then let's just say pouch found. And then I'm going to add a vial of black ink. Maybe I can use this later, and maybe I can put this in the pouch found. There we go. So it's in there because I have another pouch that's in my backpack if I ever need one. So that's awesome. So now let's go back to the crazed preacher, and he has a religious pouch table as well. Let's roll on that. So inside the pouch is a small book. So let's just say treasure found equals, and I'm going to put both of these. Inside a pouch is a vial of black ink. And I'll say inside the pouch is a small book within which is some scrawled writing you cannot read. Interesting. So we'll just say a small book. So I don't know if I'll give myself another pouch. Maybe I don't know. I might have to look that up later too. But we'll say vial, or no, small book with indecipherable, probably spelled that wrong, writing. All right. That's it. So, and this was a dead end. So I'm done. And that turn is over. Let's see. How long have I gone? I've gone about an hour already. Wow. I'm going a little bit longer, and just to show this a bit more, and then I'll probably call it. So let's move Sam down here through the walls, and I'm going to move him through this corridor. And this was just an archway. So now I can just roll straight up. This is actually more fun. This is my first time actually really playing through this. It's actually, I'm having a really good time. It's exciting. So let's roll a 2d6. 6 and a 4, that's 24. So I know it's not above 32. So I can do 4 long by 6 high. So in this case, I'm going to do this a little bit. I'm going to make this the bottom. So this will be the start. So we'll go over 4, 1, and I'm just going to, make it connect. I don't know. We'll do that. Connect from here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. See if I can move this while I'm, good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll bring it over. Sorry, almost did that wrong. And just like that. So that is the room. Let's go back to play mode and let's go back to my flowchart. So we rolled, they were not both sixes. Adam, yep, not greater than 32, regular room. So now we roll on the regular room table. So let's roll on that bad boy. Let's do our story. And I'm going to add a level 1 room 3. And this is a... Ooh, there's a lot of stuff in here. Let's scroll back up. It's a dump. It is a dump. I'm going to go back to... Let's see if I can find... Is that right? Dump? 5 and a 6? Or 6 and a 5? Is that what I rolled? I think so. Yeah, 5 and a 6. Awesome. I just want to make sure I'm doing this right and I put these in correctly. It looks like it is. All right, so let's go down in here. So it's a level 5. So the room type is a dump. The description, this space has been used to dump rubbish and stone. You know what? Maybe I'll do it. It's a little bit easier probably for you to read if I turn on the table. Let's see if I can do that and bring this here so I can read it, but you can read. So we'll go down. So we did a 5 and a 6, which is 5 and a 6. I thought I had, oh, I'm in level 2. The dump right here. So the space has been used to dump rubbish and stone, piles of which fill 2 corners. So I've got that written in here. So now let's do the encounter. So you can rummage through the rubbish, which I've done already. So I don't need to keep this. This, again, was just code. So let me take that out and then say, I guess, treasure / items found. And let's see what it says down here. Anything else? Exits. Let's put those in here. Exits are archways. And it's not unique. So the treasure found, let's scroll down here. There's a fungal bloom underneath the rubbish growing on, this is a purple mushroom. Assume I can grab that. And then also the interruptions unexpected. Roll 1d6. Notes. You begin rummaging through the room when suddenly in barges an unexpected visitor. Oh my gosh. So that's why there's so much that was in here. So what was in here? Oh shoot. I think L1P. I don't think I coded that accidentally. And then I'm supposed to face the enemy and then I'll get this. Let me pull this on my sheet and I'll say, if I win, I get this treasure, just to make a note, and I'll have to correct this later. So I'll put that there. So let's look at LIP or L1P. L1. Oh, it's a patrol. Yeah, I should have coded that. My mistake. So let's do that. Let's roll on the patrol. And it is a guard. So I rolled on that. I could put the guard up here. And we'll get to that in a second. So fungal bloom, I'll get to that later. Rummaging through. Carrying something. And I already rolled on that table. So I'm going to get rid of the rolling. And I'll say encounter. I'm going to go back up here. And I'll say guard. Go here. Guard entered the room. All right. We'll do that. So there's fungal bloom. All right. So as we do that, what is this? Okay, so it's got like rubbish in the corner. So I might see as I come into this room, let's see if I can quickly find, I might have to load more assets. I thought I had more assets actually, but maybe not. Rubbish. How about trash? How about pile? Here we go. It's hay, but close enough. That kind of looks like debris. I wonder if I could say debris. Hay wall debris. And I'll just do the hay. And we'll just say, yeah, that kind of looks like debris. So let's do this. So now we'll go back here. We'll make this a little smaller. And then we'll just kind of put that in the corner, and we'll make that a little smaller. And we'll kind of say, hey, here's the debris. Magnetic snap off. And at least I can move them a little better. All right. Probably get that out of the, yeah, perfect. All right. Got the debris, go back to playing. What else did I find? Was there a table? Dump. Rubbish. Dump rubbish and stone. Okay. Yeah, I guess underneath the rubbish. All right. So that's it. So now let's move the guard onto here. Let's see. I'm just curious, just for grins, because this is probably the last one I'll do. Let me go to my assets, tokens, and say guard. So I can always, oh, this is kind of a cool, is a skeleton guard. Yeah, I don't know why I don't have more tokens. Probably have to open some more token modules, which is fine. Why don't we just pull that one up? That looks interesting, a little bit different. So we'll do that. So he has a little token image. We'll pull him in here, and we'll say that I was kind of into this. I was looking at this rubbish pile. We're going to say he kind of came up behind me and didn't surprise me, but it doesn't say he surprised me, so I get to go first, but there he is. So let's look at him, because I want to know, I mean, I don't think it's wrong to look at these guys and do a little more. Oh yeah, next time I'll do that. Interesting. All right. Guard. She looks, yeah, that looks like an interesting person. A trained guard wearing light armor has some basic combat skills. I read that wrong, but basically. They have duties within dungeons. Oh, I keep forgetting to turn off I apologize. That's got to be irritating. I will remember that next time. Thought I was being cool with these, having these tables in, and then I forget to take them out. So what I did is I created the room, the piles. I had the guard come in the bottom, and then I'm looking at what he or she or they, what their stats are. So, all right, there are the maneuvers. So what I need to worry about for, oh, I guess I'll interrupt. Okay. Shield block on secondary 3s and 5s. So will that come into play with me? Secondary 3s and 5s -1 damage. So if I look at me, secondary 3s and 5s. So let's put that here. So, oh, thankfully it doesn't come into low swish, but it will reduce my carve by 1. So that's good to know. All right, so let's put this round counter back to 1. And let's make sure that I move this down to 1. I can just scroll down, and then this 5 will go back to 2 once I hit the cog up here to reset everything. All right, so round 1, Sam is going to target the guard, and he is going to swing away, man. Let's see what he can do. Clear this out, and let's roll his heavy mates. 4-5. I have a 2, so I can move. I have 2 shifts. I can move the 5 down to a 3. Unfortunately, he does have the shield block, he or she, which again is secondary. If I hover over that, you can see in the combat tracker 3 and a 5. That's another way you can look at it. So let's do this. I'll remember that he's at 2 wounds. I'm going to change my modifier to -1 because I know that if I hit him, he'll reduce it by that amount. So we are going to do the carve, and the carve is a -1d6 -1, so it'll be a 1d6 -2. So I don't have him targeted. Let's make sure I target the guard. Oh, I need to make sure that I'm here. Huh, why am I not? Let's make him an 8. Turn order. Make sure I'm target. There we go. Targets the guard. All right. Now we are set. Come on, Sam. Let's do your carve. So it's a 4 -1 -1. So it did take the modifier, did take his shield block. So they were able to put up their shield, still did 2 damages. So they're down to 7. That was still not a bad attack. At least I got something in. All right, the guard's turn. So the guard's going to try to stab me or swipe at me, and we'll see. So they need to select him, Sam the Valiant. All right. Attack. 4-2. So he's got a shift of 1. 4-2 cannot do it. Awesome. And then the 6-2, he can move that up 1, but he can't do it. Perfect. All right, round 2. Go back to Sam. We're down to round 2. We'll move that to 2, which shouldn't change the shift, so we're good. And then Sam, swing away with his heavy mace. 1-3, that's not a good, because I only have a 2 shift. So I can make that 1 a 3, but it will only get me to a 3-3, so I miss. So the guard is going to swing away at me, so he attacks, she attacks. 3-5, stab and swipe. Needs to get a 5 or a 6 on that first die. Can't do it. So we're at round 3. Trying to go a little quicker now. So still no change in the fatigue die. Sam is going to try again. Heavy mason. 6-5. Oh. I can move the 6 down to a 5 and then the 5 down to a 4, but nope, can't do it. The guard tries to stab or swipe at me. 3-1. Nope, he can't do it either. Awesome. All right, we are in round 4. That does change my shift to a 3 and theirs to a 2. So let's see what Sam can do here. Heavy mace. 4-6. But I have a 3. So I can do my carve because I can move the 6 down to a 3. Still not the best because he does get that shield block. So let's do that. And let's roll the heavy mace option damage. Carve, sorry. 1 point of damage. At least I'm getting something in. See what he can do. So they attack me 4-2. So they can, because they have 2 shift now, so they can move their 4 to a 5 and the 2 to a 3. And that does not, so my armor, my jerkin only helps against primary 4s. So, all right, so he can do the stabby, and I cannot block it. So where is the damage? Thought I had the damage coded. Oh, that's why I need to change that in the coding. I'll do that next time. Not sure why that showed up that way. But all good. So the damage against Sam, 2. It's -3. So actually, I need to put that back up because it took off 1. It's 1d6 -3. So is that right? Yeah, good. All right. So round 5. I have 2 shifts, so I get 4, and he's gonna have more too. So let's get him out of here. 1-3. Oh, that's the worst I could have done. I've got 4 shift points. So I can move. Yeah, I can still do. Let's see, I can move this to a 4. 1, 2, 3 to a 4. And then I can move this. Oh, I don't need to. I can move this. Yeah, that's my best option. So I'm going to again roll this down to a -1. I'll do the carve. 6. -1, -1's 4, 7, just enough. I got just enough on that carve to take him out. Awesome. And what I didn't do in my story, which I should have, is the dump. I'm going to put that note there so I can always go back and see what I have. So let's go through this now. Let's open up Sam. Open up Sam's inventory, and we're going to add. So after I did get a chance to go through the fungus pile, I've got a purple mushroom. I don't know what that's going to do. I can probably look later. Maybe it will give me something. But then I encountered a guard entered the room. So let's go back to the guard if I can find it up here. Maybe I don't have it. Go back to the NPC. And I'm going to make sure that I put the guard in here just so I know that I defeated him. So when I get this treasure, what was that for, that treasure? Well, I guess maybe that was from the table. All right, so I'm gonna add that. I'm gonna say you scraps of metal. And then I'm going to say 2 lumps of coal, just in case anybody that I know is bad around Christmas time. I can put those in their stockings. All right. So that's good. I've got that inside the leather bag. Yeah, I don't remember where that. Hopefully I didn't screw that up. But now we're going to open the NPC. You know what? I've been forgetting something, but let's open this and let's roll on the pouch table. Dried pumpkin seeds. All right. So I got some dried pumpkin seeds. So we'll do that. Dried pumpkin seeds. All right. 6 seeds. All right. So now what I had forgotten, and let's just do this because I have forgotten, but we'll go back to my XP. And so the guard is 13 XP. So I'm going to put 13 up here. But then let's go back. I had at least one other encounter, right? This encounter. I had a cultist and a crazed preacher. So the cultist is 6 and the crazed preacher is 5. So that's another 11. So that means I'm at 24. So I'll put this to 24. And I think I need to get to 100. So I'm not like quite close. But now you can see if I collapse this and lock it, the dungeon's beginning to take shape. I haven't put a lot in it, but, you know, giving a little character to the rooms. And there's a bunch of other areas I can explore. And I feel like it moves and works pretty well in Fantasy Grounds. So I'm going to cut it off there because I've already been going an hour, hour and a half. But I would really encourage you, again, to go to Toby Lancaster's website. I'll put the link again in here. 2D6 Dungeon. I think it's awesome. I'm having a blast, and I've only played for just a little bit here, but hopefully you can see with Fantasy Grounds, I think it makes it pretty easy. So till next time, hope to see you all and enjoy your solo gaming. Thanks, everyone.